This is the most brutal water demon I have met. He specializes in capturing beautiful single girls, then lock them in a secret room to drown. As long as there is water he will appear. Young girls are being harmed more and more. Today Mr. Ham will tell everyone. The classic horror movie The Drownsman. The movie begins, a girl awakens in fear. She is begging the man beside her, but he didn't notice his hand pushed the girl into the bath, almost choked her to death. Danger ahead. The girl holding the piece of glass on the floor stabbed the villain. In order to survive she attacked frantically. The man suddenly disappeared into the water. By the time she turned, the man had turned into a water demon. Accompanied by a scream, the Jenny girl awoke from her dream. It turned out that she had contracted a strange disease from a year ago. Every night Jenny dreams of a water demon, therefore she gave birth to a fear of water. For helping her overcome psychological problems, sisters specially make her a ritual, hope that she can alleviate her fear of water. Just starting to exorcise, a strange thing happened. The candle in the middle suddenly went out once, but they looked down on it still doing magic tricks to chase away water demons. Jenny followed everyone's instructions and lay down. Now she is very worried. When people think that the denunciation is successful, Jenny suddenly had a strange feeling. It was like someone grabbed her from the water. The sisters beside her was stunned in a blink. The curly-haired sister hurriedly broke the tube, rescuing Jenny out. At this moment Shirley also suddenly saw a passing figure, but people thought she purposely teased them. In this world there would be no water devil. Unexpected live people of them were going to have a disaster, so Jenny also went to search for documents related to the water devil. Also depicts the appearance inside her mind. Shirley over here. She was alone at home, suddenly hearing a strange sound inside the washing machine. But when she arrived, she couldn't see anything. When she thinks she's worried about nothing, stone face necklaces fell back into thrilling. Shirley hurriedly reached out and picked it up. Suddenly a black hand appeared beside him, grasped her arms. Then the washing machine started to frantically shake. Shirley, in the blink of an eye, was scared to lose her soul. Jenny is visiting his mustache uncle and best friend Mary. They wanted to understand the water devil related things from him. To clarify the truth, Jenny also gave him the mustache of the dream painting. His daughter and Jenny have the same situation. But the girl is no longer in the world. The mustache uncle gave Jenny all the documents he investigated. On the way home, Jenny also entered the dream. She went to an old wooden house. Here Jenny saw a girl lying in a bath. Besides that, there is the water demon. The terrible scene in the blink of an eye made Jenny awake. Then her black-haired sister friend this side. She also had an unusual appearance, vomiting in her mouth non-stop. As she turned to get a towel, the phone on the table disappeared. When she was curious, the headphone cord on the neck was also pulled into the water. What's more thrilling is, even the black-haired sister was directly dragged in. After that, she emerged from that horrible bath. Now she had a vague mind. When the black-haired sister looked around, she has detected her phone. But here there is no signal. At this moment, beside had a bizarre sound. The black-haired sister was suddenly threatened with her limp legs. Fall into a closed box. After that, the trunk began to pour water. No matter how she knocked it, it wouldn't be damaged. The black-haired sister drowned in the water. Shirley, terrified, hurriedly found her curly-haired sister. Tell her, water demons seem to really exist. It can reach the victim through the water Arun. Them. Then buried them in the water. But the curly-haired sister thought she was acting mysteriously. Also aggressively slapped Shirley once. When Shirley tried to explain, she was sucked in by the hand sink behind her back, seeing her whole body caught up in this narrow space. At this time, the curly-haired sister also believed her explanation. But it is too late. Shirley is dragged into that scary room as well. Frightened, she quickly climbed out. The room was full of water. The surroundings sometimes made strange sounds. Then she slipped and fell into the water. Then was permanently locked on the floor in the room. Jenny and Mary found your phone on the floor. But danger is quietly approaching. After that, the water devil reappeared in front of them. The two people hurriedly left. As soon as they opened the door, they ran into her curly-haired sister. The three of them tensed up in the blink of an eye. Halfway there, Jenny read through the document his mustache uncle gave her. She feels she has to go investigate the water demon's background. This made them not cold but trembling. Now they are afraid of water. In the hospital, they find a victim who has gone through similar things, Lucy. A statement she said shook everyone. It turned out that she was Jenny's mother. And that water demon was actually her father. He had been a murderous madman before, finally destroyed by Lucy. The result becomes unjustly vengeance upon the innocent girls beside her. The three people who heard the truth hastily left. In the elevator, the sisters suddenly started to panic. It turned out that the ceiling started to spray water. The three of them are aware of the danger. This is definitely a bluff. As expected, he crawled out directly from the water. The curly-haired sister in the blink of an eye was dragged into the water by him. Immediately disappeared. At this time, the elevator also reached the first floor. The two men hurriedly took the door out. And the curly-haired sister appeared in that horrible room. The strange environment made her extremely frightened. On the floor, she also discovers necklaces of her good sister Shirley. Suddenly, the curled girl was tangled in an inexplicable iron chain. Immediately after that, dragging began faster, not struggling yet. She was thrown into the deep floor with no bottom. Jenny over here, they decided not to hide anymore. The two men drove all the way to the small log house that the murderer lived. After that, they rushed inside with flares. The room is messy. There was a strange taste everywhere. They discovered a secret passage on the floor. When two people were going down to find out the truth, then terrible water streak appeared. A pair of hands extended directly. Poor Mary was captured. After that, the basement also began to absorb water. Seeing his friend missing, Jenny immediately began to get nervous. While she was wondering what to do, the bath next to her made a sound. Jenny quickly went through the check, but it wasn't time for her to look closely. His hands were dragged into the water. Here, she saw all the sisters that were missing. Jenny, scared, rushed to swim up. After that, she went to that bizarre room again. Mary was taken away by the water demon who was locked in a secret room. Jenny, panicked, immediately went up to close the tap. But the water level in the room is still rising. Mary is also about to succumb, both of them falling into a coma. Dangerous moment. Jenny picked up the iron bar and opened the latch beside it. But Mary was no longer breathing. When Jenny was miserable, the water devil suddenly strangled her neck. But the murderer seemed to recognize the girl from Jenny's eyes. He also did not harm Jenny, but quietly brought Mary's body. At this point, Jenny suddenly took out a flare hidden behind Mary, then stabbed the water demon fiercely. After that, the room, seriously injured, began to froth. Entically sprinkle water. Jenny has now overcome her fear of water demons as well. Alone got into the tub and sink into it. At the moment the black hands reached out, Jenny promptly returned to the present. But the disgusting water devil still came. Luckily, Jenny went back to plug a flare into him. Finally, press the demon's name back to the bottom of the water. She has now completely conquered her fear of water demons. Then, Jenny returned to the hospital, when the nurse did not notice. Sneaking into the hospital room to ask about his mother. Seeing Jenny's body soaked, her mother still thinks she was murdered. At this point, Jenny told her mother the situation. She finally killed the killer. But just as finished speaking, a shadow appeared behind the two. It's the end of the film. A very good movie. The story involves water demon murderer, covering the whole movie's horror atmosphere, especially that strange tub. Each capture he will appear from the bath. Just where there is water he will appear. Besides specializing in capturing single girls, I think he's a lonely water demon. It's said to be a water demon, in fact he is a boisterous demon. The creation and concept of the whole movie is very novel. A good horror movie. If you like it, remember to press like, follow, share and thank everyone.